Well, essentially, I'm a ceramic practitioner, I'm an object maker. I use a lot of different processes in casting, hand building. I've always been sort of a modernist, interested in the different representations of objects and how they can be perceived. And more recently, I suppose I moved from a more formal approach to a more sort of metaphorical or narrative approach to how we use maybe materials and forms and objects, and have already started using found objects. So I suppose essentially I'm always interested in our perception of objects and in making objects. Being a ceramicist, material is incredibly important to me. I mean, clay has so many connotations for use and so many sort of metaphorical understandings. There's also sort of a fantastic hierarchy between the sort of humble, rough clay and to the beautiful porcelain and gold lustre. And I really like sort of playing with those hierarchies, venerating in a sense the humble earthenware alongside those porcelains and those lustres. It's fantastic because it's incredibly malleable, and the exciting thing I suppose about this project is that what's happening with that material on a pure scientific level is going to change the way that we use it in our creative applications, but also the things like you can now print ceramic objects in a 3D printer, which is one of the things I hope to explore with this award. And I think that has a huge potential for how we design, how we make objects, how we read objects, because new forms, new possibilities are available to us that were hitherto impossible. So the material itself is changing hugely. One of the interesting things is with the use of the gold. It has a very different quality, obviously, to the clay. One of the things I'm actually interested in using are ferrofluids, which are magnetic liquids. By having an actual metallic interior to the forms, I can actually create an electromagnetic field and actually cause liquid to move through the forms in a way I choose. I'm interested in scanning the forms, three-dimensional forms, and creating sound from those digital files. So I'm currently working on forms that are to do with sound, and then by using, again, electromagnetic fields to create a sort of a more haptic experience of a work of art, so that you hear it as well as see it, and it might be a bit more kinetic than a static object. So it's a kind of whole new departure for me, but it's really quite thrilling working with a physicist, sound engineer. It opens up whole new possibilities, really. Technologies that make it available are just emerging. So, I don't know anybody in my field who's working in this way. I'm sure somebody out there is working in tangent, but yeah, hopefully it's definitely new, breaking a lot of boundaries for me, and hopefully the interesting thing as well is I'm very interested in using all open source technology, so that once I've kind of completed the award, I'd really like to make that available for anybody to use, because it's out there, it's free. And it's the nice thing is that in the past all of these technologies have been within the realms of universities or industry, but this is for me to see how these technologies can affect the sole practitioner in ceramics, that you don't have to be part of a large institution to be able to access these open source technologies that can really aid the development of work.